Hello there, my beautiful friends. You already know what time it is. It is the time of the week that we go window shopping together and we take a look at everything that is new in the makeup community and decide whether or not we want to waste our hard-earned coin on it. So if you are interested in seeing what is new in the makeup market, then go ahead and keep on watching and let's jump right on in. I know. I'm late with today's Pay or Stay Away, and last week there was no Pay or Stay Away. I have been dropping the ball as far as filming goes, and I could sit here and give you my list of excuses for why I didn't upload and why today's video is a day late. But simply being put, I got a new cat. Yeah, she's super cute, but let me tell you, she is a handful, so that is why my videos have been MIA. So since we didn't have a video last week, I'm probably going to mention some things that are basically old news at this point, but nonetheless, I feel like these things are important enough to talk about, so let's go ahead and jump on in with something new from Bitter Lace Beauty, which is a brand that I've recently purchased from, but it didn't happen until very, very recently, although I did have my eye on them for like a year without purchasing anything. I was just like silently stalking their Instagram and website. Just normal things. But they just came out with their Kaleidoscope Glow collection that is available now, of course. So this collection's whole spiel here is iridescent multichromatic highlighting goodness, which you already know, like, ugh, that is my kind of makeup. Say no more, my friends. I'm basically sold just on those key words. We have 5 different shades of iridescent multichromatic highlighting goodness to choose from here, and there's basically 2 different formulas. So you can either purchase the liquid highlighter formula of these specific shades, and that retails for $32, and it comes in a really adorable iridescent skull bottle. I just want like that actual bottle itself with the little highlighter inside of it. I don't want to actually use the highlight because then it would diminish the iridescent effect once you use the highlighter. I just want the actual bottle. It's so cute. I would display that in my room. And then you have the 5 corresponding pressed highlighters that are all in a really cute Chromebow iridescent pan, and these retail for $20 a pop. So you know, I went ahead and purchased some of these. Now, I could only purchase 2 of them, just kind of budgeting myself. I went ahead and spent $40 on highlighters, just 2 different highlights, which is kind of insane because I haven't actually spent that much on 2 highlighters in so freaking long. I feel like I've just been buying $12.99 highlights for the last year or so from JD Glow. So when it comes to these other brands that are a little bit more expensive but are still not that expensive by any means, I'm just so hesitant about it. But for this kind of product, I'm willing to spend the extra coin. These are absolutely beautiful. I went ahead and picked up the shade Lucid, which I believe was like a green, pink, and kind of bluish toned highlight, and then I picked up the shade Whimsical, which is a beautiful purpley pink and a little bit of yellow highlight. They're so incredibly beautiful. I have them currently. I am working on a video just about some new things that I've gotten in recently, but oh my god, they're amazing, and they smell like the most delicious lemon meringue cookies or lemon meringue pie. Bitter Lace Beauty probably has the best smelling highlighters that I've ever tried in my entire life. Just kind of strange. I feel like makeup probably shouldn't smell like lemon meringue pie, but at the same time, I'm not complaining because it smells freaking amazing. Honestly, if I had more money to purchase makeup right now, I would totally pick up more of these because there are so many beautiful colors. I highly suggest you go to their website at least and look at them because they are beautiful to just look at and gawk at. Oh my god, they're gorgeous. But like I said, I just got a cat, and I am also moving in 3 weeks, so I need to save my coin. I can't be spending coin on things that make my face shiny just for the sole purpose of making myself feel better. I need to be better about what I'm spending my money on and save it for furniture. What's the point of moving into a house if you're not going to have a couch? Although I would have a whole heck of a lot of highlighters. My priorities are clearly all out of whack, and I'm trying to align them before I get into this new place. So speaking of my priorities being all out of whack, this is something new from Spero Cosmetics, and this is a supernatural shifting palette. One of you guys actually tagged me in this. I didn't previously know about it, and the second that I saw it, I mindlessly clicked onto their website, clicked purchase, and somehow had already checked out before I even realized what had really happened or what I even purchased. It was one of those moments that I'm not very proud of where you just black out just because you want to purchase something. You're just in the mood for buying something, and then you see something, you buy it, and you're like, what did I even just get? But after further research into this palette, this is an all duochrome iridescent palette. So I am not unhappy that I purchased it because it is really, really beautiful. So this palette contains 9 different shades, and they all have kind of like a whitish base, not super, super stark by any means, but they're definitely on the lighter kind of cream tan toned side of things. And then each one of these shades has a different duochromatic shift to it. They're also really not glittery, but glimmery, I would say. They have a really nice amount of mica and kind of shimmers in them, but I would not say that they're glittery by any means. So basically, this palette has a green shifting white iridescent shade. It has a red shifting white iridescent shade, purple shifting white iridescent shade. You get what I'm saying here. I don't think I can say white iridescent shade anymore. So although I didn't need it, I went ahead and purchased it because this bad boy was only $35. I know it's not the cheapest palette in the world, but it was also a duochromatic iridescent palette that wasn't exactly breaking the bank, so although I may have not needed to purchase this, somehow I have it in my collection. Stay tuned for a video on that as well. Finally, we're getting to something that I have not purchased and wasted my money on. Not like I actually wasted my money, but you get what I'm saying. I don't need to be buying makeup, even though that is literally the whole purpose of this show. Without me buying makeup, this wouldn't exist. But I digress. This is something new from Anastasia Beverly Hills, and by the time you're watching this, you've heard of this, you've probably bought it, but this is the Jackie Aina palette. Jackie. I love Jackie Aina, okay? She is absolutely fantastic. She has such an amazing energy to her and just this really bubbly personality without being too out there and too in your face about it. You know when someone's a little bit too bubbly and you're like, just hand me my coffee, please. People who live in the Pacific Northwest, you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Dutch Bros. Her content is super fun and exciting and just makes you happy without being overly eccentric. And I really appreciate that because there's a fine line between bubbly and overly eccentric. But even though I love her channel and I just love Jackie all around as a person, she's fabulous. We know this. For some reason, there is just something about Anastasia Beverly Hills' palettes that don't really attract me, and I don't know why. I know I can feel the dislikes flying my way. I'm seeing it. I'm seeing thumbs downs coming towards me. I get it, but I don't know why I don't really like them. It's not so much the colors, because I do like some individual colors in this palette. I think that the purples obviously are beautiful, and I think that the pinks obviously are beautiful as well. And there are just some color combos in here that really, really work that I could see myself creating looks with. But I don't know if it's just the actual layout of the palette or just the sole fact that this palette is $45, and I know I could purchase similar colors from indie brands for much cheaper. But for some reason, the past, I don't know, 3 or 4 palettes that have come out from ABH, I just have not had any attraction to. Now, with that being said, I kind of go back on my words here because I recently was looking at the Norvina palette and I was like, dang, that's a cute palette. But I don't necessarily like the entire palette, I just like specific shades. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the setup, maybe it's just me not wanting to spend the money and being a cheapskate. I'm not really sure, but I know that I have the most unpopular opinion on ABH, probably in the entire beauty community, and I probably just pissed off the entire YouTube beauty community, so I'm sorry, folks. If this palette right here was, say, $25, even $30, even $32, I would be singing a different song here, but because it has that $42 price tag, I believe, I should know these things if I'm gonna talk smack about them, but I don't know, I can't really find myself wanting to actually spend the entire amount of money for Anastasia's palettes. And I know that they're good quality, and I know that the color schemes are good because I like certain colors out of the palettes. And even if there are some colors that aren't really my cup of tea in, you know, each individual palette, I always find a few colors out of each palette that I do really enjoy, and that's never stopped me before from purchasing palettes. So I don't know what it is. I am conflicted. I know you're sitting there probably scratching your head as well. Trust me, I'm over here freaking trying to put the numbers together, scratching my head, thinking, why don't I get along with ABH's palettes? Why do I not want to buy you? I want to buy these palettes because they have so much hype around them and everybody loves them, and I've had good experiences with ABH's palettes. I mean, I purchased the Modern Renaissance legitimately the day it came out in 2016, like on the hour. The second that bad boy dropped, I purchased it and used the living heck out of it. I hit pan on like almost every shade, not even being over dramatic, truly did. But for some reason, ever since then, I really just haven't vibed with ABH's palettes enough to want to actually purchase them at full price. I just do not understand why I don't find myself wanting to purchase ABH's palettes. Now, don't get me wrong, if they were to ever mark this guy down to like $25, maybe even $30, I would definitely consider purchasing it and probably be much more inclined to purchase it. And same with the Norvina palette. If they ever mark that down to like 25 bucks, 30 bucks, she will definitely make her way into my collection because I would totally purchase that for just a little bit cheaper, you know, during the VIB sale. That's the only time that they ever mark down the ABH palettes. But I'm sorry, Jackie Aina, I love you. You're amazing. This palette is amazing, but for some reason I just don't want to spend my money on it and just don't really find myself wanting to take the plunge and purchase it. I know the hate's coming. I can feel it already. I can see you and your little fingers typing out the hate comments, but before you do that, just know that I am there with you. I don't understand why I'm like this either. It perplexes me every single day. Every time I see an Anastasia Beverly Hills palette, I think to myself, what is wrong with me? So I know you're thinking the same thing, but just remember, I'm right there with you. So this next release is going to be a bit of a juicy contradiction here because this palette looks very, very eerily similar to the Jackie Aina palette. And for some reason, I find myself wanting this palette, even though the colors are almost exactly the same. So Colored Raine is coming out with a brand new eyeshadow palette that will be limited edition, and this is called the Power Palette. Now, this guy is going to be launching the day you're watching this on August 20th, and it will launch at... Now, this bad boy is going to be launching on August 20th, so probably the day you're watching this video, and it launches at 4 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So I'm kind of conflicted about how I feel about this palette because I am looking at swatches right now and I'm thinking to myself, that is so freaking gorgeous. I would love to have that in my collection. You know I love purple, you know me, this is my kind of color scheme. But I'm so torn here because I feel like these colors match up so well with what Jackie Aina put in the ABH palette. And I don't find myself wanting that guy, but I find myself wanting this one. It is one of the biggest mysteries in the entire world. I think the whole purpose behind me wanting this palette a little bit more than the Jackie Aina palette and just kind of preferring the color scheme is that we have more duochromes here and we have a little bit more berry pink tones, if you will, versus the ABH and Jackie Aina palette, which does have a bit more neutrals thrown in. You know, we have that black, we have a few terracotta browns, we have some silvers, but we do have some really beautiful rose golds and some bronzes, which I absolutely love. But I think because of the very minimal amount of neutral tones that were thrown in, I think I prefer the Power palette because of that purpose, because this is kind of an all purple and berry toned palette. We don't really have neutrals thrown in. It's just hitting the mark on the berry purple theme a little bit better for myself and for my own personal liking. I feel like I'd get more use out of this palette. I'm tempted. I'm very, very tempted to purchase this palette. It is really, really, really pretty, and I know I don't need it, but I've never personally tried a palette from Colored Raine, and I've heard fantastic things about their formula. I hear their formula is just absolutely incredible, so I'm considering it. I know I should not, like, I really should not. I need to save up for furniture for my new house, but I do think this palette's pretty, and I do think that I would get use out of it. I'm kind of torn, but I think eventually, at least down the line, I'll go ahead and pick this guy up before it goes away, before it stops being on the shelf, since it is limited edition. So now I feel a little bit pressed and I feel kind of like I have to purchase it now when it drops because it is limited edition. I'm conflicted. I'm very conflicted about a lot of things in Pay or Stay Away this week, apparently. Okay, folks, but I think that's enough rambling from me for one day. So we are going to go ahead and end Pay or Stay Away here. But as we always do, let me know in the comments what you are going to be picking up from this week and things that you saw that you think I would like, things you saw that you went ahead and purchased that I didn't talk about here today. There's a lot of things I could have went on about, but I knew that these topics in particular, each individual release here was going to get me going. It was going to get me riled up and rambling, and Lord knows it did. So I chose to keep the list a little bit shorter for this week. But with that being said, if you enjoy Pay or Stay Away, if you enjoy window shopping with me every single week, then why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below to stay in the loop with all the makeup releases and to hear me ramble every single week about these new makeup releases. And if you enjoyed this video, if you found it helpful, if you found it entertaining, then go ahead and give me a big old thumbs up as well. It helps out the YouTube channel. It helps out tiny microscopic YouTubers such as myself. So if you choose to do so, then I greatly appreciate you. Thank you so much. But with that being said, I hope that you are having an absolutely amazing and beautiful day wherever you are. And thank you so much for spending your time here today and listening to me ramble. I hope to see you next time. Bye!